Oof. And we're back with another episode of Who Reviews, the show where you should sit down and listen because I have something to say. Okay, here we go. Let's get started. Wicked, Part 1, by the way, which I didn't know going into it, so that was kind of crazy. It's already over 2 hours long. I don't know how much content they added, because, like, the musical itself is, about 3 hours, so. But anyway, I'll tell you, like, what my experience with Wicked, which is that I don't know the story. I do vaguely because I know the songs. I listen to the soundtrack probably on a very regular basis. My family is a very big musical theater family, and so I end up listening to the soundtracks to shows that I have not seen and barely know what they're about, just the songs. But anyway, that being said, I loved the movie. It was very good. The casting was, I think, as good as it could possibly be. I did have my doubts about Ariana Grande at first, but I forgot that she was an actor. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot that that's a thing that she also can do, and she killed it. Honestly, to be frank, like her comedic timing and ability to act like an idiot is just like, she's so good that she is Galinda now. Like she just is her. Or Galinda is Ariana, whichever you prefer. Knows how to be popular. Cynthia Erivo. She was, I think, maybe even better than Idina Menzel, just sort of, looks-wise, and just in the performance, because she's sort of more nerdy, this, sort of nerdy, shy person. I don't know, I did like the two main actresses quite a bit. Who else was there? Michelle Yeoh, very good as always. Bowen Yang, it was funny. It was just funny, to be honest. Oh, the goat was Peter Dinklage. Okay, that was funny. Jeff Goldblum. That was just funny. The set design, the costumes were just top notch. I really liked her glasses that were like this. I don't know, it was just a fun detail. Directed by John M. Chu, also, who's other two movies I'm a big fan of, In the Heights and Crazy Rich Asians, both very his style directing is very fun. It's very energetic and creative. There's a lot of full of creative shots, and always in motion. It's very fun. Okay, you know what? Scratch that. I don't know why I thought he had only directed 2 films. He's actually directed more than 2. Okay, I guess I've only seen 2 of his films then. But he has a very interesting directing career. Hold on. Okay, so he directed Crazy Rich Asians, In the Heights, Wicked, and then let's see, Step Up to the Streets, Now You See Me, Justin Bieber, Never Say Never. What even is that? Just a documentary? Okay. Anyway, I'm getting off track. It was honestly, on all accounts, a really well-made movie. Told the story very well. And then the music was, What is this feeling? It's all I got. I thought the moment stuck out your guts. My cheeks are clenching. Continuing. I was singing along the whole time. And just like In the Heights, the way they, bring the choreography to the world of a film, where you can sort of do more with the locations, and you can have, all these different set pieces. It definitely enhanced the songs in a way that beyond on stage stuff. I don't really have any notes about what they may have changed from the show, because I haven't seen the original show. That seems to be a theme with me. Now, if I were to sort of give one criticism that I have about this movie, is that, like I said, I have a reference for the original soundtrack, Broadway cast recording, but I just think there could have been way more sort of expression in, especially Loathing. No, the song's called What Is This Feeling, where they're supposed to be, the song is about how they loathe each other, but I just feel like their performances were held back, just a little bit held back. I think some of that might have to do with the fact that they like recorded on set audio. I think that's the thing that they did for this movie. But I don't know. Some of the song lines, like, I feel like they kind of fell a little bit flat.
There's a strange exhilaration in such total detestation. There's a strange exhilaration in such total detestation.
They put so much work into the whimsical outfits and architecture and the way people talk, and obviously, you know, I'm not going to get mad at the fact that the goat doesn't look like, you know, a real goat and like, oh, I can tell that's a fake goat. Duh. And I'm giving Wicked a 8 out of 10. The Wild Robot. I saw this, I think, like, very close to when it came out, because I was really excited for it. I don't know why I waited this long to talk about it, but I am now. This movie is so good, man. Like, first of all, the animation is incredible. They really ran with the, you know, Puss in Boots thing. It was, you know, reminiscent of the Puss in Boots Last Wish animation style, but it's still, you know, it made it its own thing. When you're watching a movie with that type of animation where, like, everything is so grand, like, every action has such dramatic impact, and the lighting goes crazy, and everything is, like, exploding in your face. It's so intense all the time, but not like in an over-top annoying way. But the story of this is what really makes it special. Now, when I first saw the trailer for The Wild Robot, and it was just sort of a teaser where the robot, you know, ends up in the wild, and it's called The Wild Robot, and I thought, okay, isn't this based on like a kid's book? This feels like the most, like, the shallow, like, the premise is in the title, so I don't know where they could possibly take this. It's just like a robot that has fun in the wild. I was very, very wrong. I was insanely wrong, because, and I should also say that it's even sort of a subgenre of movies where there's a robot character who sort of evolves from a robot into, like, an actual person with emotions. Like, you know, Big Hero 6 would be one example of a robot becomes a person story. Also, Smart House. Disney Channel original movie Smart House. And they all tend to, you know, sort of play out the same way, where the robot is initially like, hey, I am a robot. I am going to try to do human stuff, and I'm going to make a mistake and ruin everything. Whoops. I knocked over, I killed a pedestrian. And, you know, that was sort of it's inevitable, right? It's inevitable. That was sort of the first 10 minutes of this movie, it was Roz just being like, hi, I am Roz, and I am stupid, and I'm going to ruin everything. But then out of nowhere, it started being like, and there's a baby duck. Spoilers, I guess, but Roz, like, it's built in that she has to take care of a little duck, and then she becomes the duck's mom, and then the duck has this emotional journey of identity, and Roz's, like, AI, whatever the fuck, however they explain it, she's, like, actually learning what it means to be a family and shit. And it's just the moment that this in my head was like, this is a good robot, they did this subgenre good, is when Roz, like, meets different version of Roz, but, like, the new wait, how do I explain this? Current Roz activates another Roz robot that is new and it's just fully a robot. And you see the contrast, like, subtly, that she is behaving a little different. It's not just, like, full forced robot into person trajectory, but it's like, you rewrote your code. You aren't fucking supposed to do that. Am I making any sense? Oh, God. It did a very good job with not hitting the story beats on the nose so hard that I'm like, I know where you're going with this. Because I very much didn't. It had such good, not only dialogue, but also visual storytelling. It does a lot of, you know, like, time skipping, and time skipping can be hard to, you know, manage, but the visual language of the movie is also very good, with a lot of, like, very powerful symbolism, things that they set up and bring back. They just really go the extra mile to convince us of the bond between Bright Bill and Roz, and that's just really powerful. I'm definitely gonna have to, like, in the year-end ranking video, elaborate on my thoughts a little bit more, because this is a very it's a heavier movie than you'd think, and I definitely want to do it justice. But for now, I'm gonna give this movie a 9. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a 9 out of 10. Arcane. Now, I know that the Arcane fandom goes a little bit crazy. I knew that but before last week, I'd never seen Arcane, okay? Because I don't know, maybe I just was like, oh, I'm too good for that. I ain't watching that. Fuck, for nerds, for dorks, for idiots. I'm like that with a lot of stuff. I don't know why. I should really just give more stuff a chance. But anyway, I was finally convinced to watch Arcane, after the new season dropped, and all my like, I hang around people that all happen to love Arcane. And I was like, well, okay, fucking fine, I'll watch it. I got nothing to do this weekend. So I sat down last week and watched all 18 episodes of Arcane. And it has taken me a week to recover. Oh my god. This show is so fucking epic, and that is probably the primary word I would use to describe Arcane. It is, come here, it is a saga, okay? I truly can't express enough how... I'll tell you that the one thing that I knew about it was that Imagine Dragons wrote the theme song. So, But as it turns out, the Imagine Dragons song is probably the only bad thing about the show. Well, that's not true. There are some, like, minor complaints, but, like, I'll get to those. Just the sheer amount of development that they put into these characters, showing us every fucking terrible and scarring thing that has ever happened to these people. I'm fucking, like, it's insane. Everything has been taken away from these two sisters. There's, like, the most earth-shattering betrayal and, like, tragic misunderstanding of all time. And then they jump forward how many years? And everything is spiraled into... I don't know if I want to like, say names and spoil stuff or not. Fuck it. I'm spoiling Arcane because I from here on out. But if you need to watch it. You need to watch Arcane. You need to, okay? But the way that everything from that one moment at the end of episode 3, season 1, spirals into this division of 1,000 miles between Jinx and Vi, it's, like, so heartbreaking even just at that moment. But then it keeps going, okay? I'll say right now that Jinx is probably my favorite character in this series, just because of how insanely layered her character and backstory is. She has the most tragic conflict out of everyone, and, like, man, they just create this character, and then they said, here you go. Chew on that. Like, not only does she have a cool aesthetic, which makes Arcane cosplays very fun, but that visual language of her sort of psychotic, periodic, like, meltdowns, it really just paints this picture of she's a different person. This is not Powder, it is Jinx. And every time that new Jinx and new Vi interact, because Vi is also a completely different person, every time they interact going forward, it's like my heart is shattered in 1,000 pieces that they can't get back to where they once were. It's impossible. And that's only one of the like, storylines, okay? There's Jason Victor, which also, by the way, I don't know if there's an official ship name for Jason Victor, but that needs to happen, and I'm for that 100%. There's also another, like, insanely tragic story there of first of all, strangers to friends to sort of enemies again, and then friends again by the end, where these people evolve into just completely different characters, and you know there's no way to get back to the season 1 versions of those people. That time jump at the end of episode 3 was sort of the whatchamacallit, the turning point, the nexus, the cataclysmic event that broke the entire universe, where everything in the upper city got better and the lower city got they grew even Okay, calm down, okay? Yeah, and then on top of that, there's also the sort of, capitalist commentary of these people shouldn't get to live with good stuff, and while we have bad stuff. Oh god, it really gives you a lot to just think about. There's Caitlin and her sort of journey of self-discovery and fulfillment, and her, relationship with Vi, which, by the way, I'm gonna be 100%. I don't really see it, but Kate Vi shippers, you can go crazy with that. Yeah, probably not the best ship in Arcane, to me at least. Sorry, this is me cutting in from the future, with a quote from one of my other friends who I was talking to about Arcane. They said, she was like, it's crazy that a lesbian sex scene was not my favorite part of this show. She's a lesbian, by the way. She was, of course, referring to the one between Caitlin and Vi, and she's right. It's crazy that moment I just didn't really care about that moment, because not only was it really kind of just super out of nowhere, and it was also not appropriate for the situation. It was seen right before that. Jinx was like, yeah, so I'm gonna lock you in here, and I'm gonna, blow myself up. And the Caitlyn just came in like, hey, we got the room to ourselves though now. Not only was that just super strange to do, they were just like, okay, whatever, now they fuck. But if there are any two characters at that should have at least kissed, we all know who it is, okay? And I don't even need to say it, but I'm gonna say it. Jace and Victor, how the fuck have they not at least kissed yet? The fucking voice actors knew what they were doing, okay? It is absurd to me that they are not canonically together. It's almost like they're teasing us, and they know what they're doing, but oh my god, I'm not even, it just needs to happen. It's frankly absurd. Okay, Kaylin's also kind of weirdly written to me. I'm not too keen. I'm not the keenest on her. I didn't hate her or anything. I don't know. Anyway, if I were to choose my favorite ship, actually, it would probably be Jinx and Echo, which technically is canon from season 2, episode 6. The one where he goes to the other dimension. That episode, by the way, was, oh my fucking god, that just shattered my heart into 10,000 pieces. And the just brief speck of time that Echo and other Jinx spent together was that episode, that turned into my favorite ship, just because of, I guess, the context of, and how tragic it is that never happened. Hey, it's me from the future again, popping in. I didn't know about Time Bomb when I was recording that. Apparently, same friend, same group of friends, told me that actually the fandom was shipping Jinx and Echo long before season 2 even, which was weird to me because they barely interacted, except for that one time where they had one fight, and then that was it. And then I learned that for the music video for Enemy, they animated new shit for that music video. And part of what was in the music video were scenes of young Echo and young Jinx interacting and literally adding lore. So there was lore in an Imagine Dragons, for the show, in an Imagine Dragons music video that, and Why did they do that is my question. That's just, but yeah, I just want to make that clear. Yeah, and yeah, but and then the probably the weakest like sort of plot line out of the many in this show is the one with Mel and her mom, because that, it kind of felt to me like that came out of nowhere sort of, and the whole Black Rose thing and how she just got magic because she believed in herself or whatever. It's was kind of vague. I feel like why she got magic in the first place. Yeah, it felt like she was just she was a background character in Jace's story, and then she became another main character. And I was like, what? But if I were to say one bad thing about this show's storytelling, not bad necessarily, but it does a lot of time skipping, of jumping around chronologically, and it can get a little bit confusing when they show stuff either in like a montage where it's a little hard to follow what they're like trying to say happened, or they just like jump forward entirely and you have to like surmise that there even was a time jump in the first place. Like after the like sewer mission fails in like episode fucking 3 or something, season 2, and then they jump forward to when Vi is doing the pit fighting thing. I had to stop for a second and be like, wait, okay, so this is like way later, and also when Jinx had gone off the radar and people started using her as a symbol for the movement or whatever. They showed that in the form of a montage, which they do a lot. And I guess I had to learn that the language of the show was when there is a crazy montage, that is the animation style switches up and they start playing a crazy song like "Paint it down blue in the head of the and then that indicates that there is like time skipping. But you definitely have to learn how to watch this show, I guess, is what I'm saying. Oh, and I haven't even talked about the animation, which is just insane. They really like utilizing slow-mo, first of all, for the fight scenes, which is just so epic. The fight choreography is crazy because they have a lot of, video game-ified, just, weapons that, giant hammer, big fists, crazy grenades, giant, comically large, machine gun. But then they also use like the aesthetic of incredibly dynamic lighting, the gritty street look of everything. Oh god, it's good. The music can be a little much at times, I guess, but it's a choice, it's a vibe. But the way they combine styles, there's the normal like the 3D style. Sometimes they transition into low frame rate, how do I even describe it, like scrapbooky type thing where they're, instead of just showing it normally, they show like moments. It's not montage style, but and then like some scenes with Jinx, they have this scribbly sort of psychedelic thing. They utilize like neon colors to when Jinx is around to sort of hammer home the the persona. What else? World building, top tier. It's a pretty simple concept on its face. There's a top side and there's a bottom side. They fight. They not like each other. It gets a little weirder when they introduce the magic stuff and it gets a little hard to follow, I guess, but and I did have to like rewatch and be like, wait, okay, so hold on, who is who and what are they doing and why at certain points. But I'm just gonna attribute that to me having ADHD and like I do that a lot with everything. Like I just forget to pay attention to what people are saying. I have to rewind and be like, okay, wait, what? But they really do a good job of making the stakes clear and why stuff needs to happen, and then just like just weaving this web of characters and tragedy and conflict and suffering that all culminates into the finale, which again got a little bit, my mind got a little bit tangled with all the stories like resolving at the same time. In the end, it just leaves you with this feeling, whether you 100% understood what the fuck happened or not, it just leaves you with this bittersweet feeling of emptiness that I had to just fucking lie down and think about for like a solid like 30 minutes before I could do anything. It was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was truly an amazing saga that I can't recommend enough. Also, after watching the finale, I saw this promo for League of Legends show up on like my TikTok feed or something. Like the game this was based off of, and it was so that like the character, like the gameplay footage was so goofy looking compared to the show I just watched. I'm like, okay, man, I'm definitely never playing League still, but you made a good show. Fucking honestly, 10 out of 10, honest. 10 out of 10. I'm just like, it's a 10 out of 10. So yeah, that is me gushing about Arcane and also talking about 2 other things. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe and do everything that makes YouTube show this to more people. And if you don't, I will, unfortunately, you know, have to punch you super hard with a magic gauntlet and you die and your entire face gets broken because I stole Vi's gauntlets and I'm gonna punch you with them. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. By the way, who do you think I should cosplay from Arcane? I'm getting into cosplay now. I'm as surprised as you are, but I want to cosplay Arcane so badly, and I'm having trouble deciding, so leave it in the comments. Okay, bye.
Oh, the misery, everybody around me, spare the sympathy, everybody around me, my enemy. Go, you die.